It's Friday, September 13th, 2024, and Fridays are Ask or Tell Me Anything, next on the AM Update. Well, thanks for joining me for another week on the AM Updates. Appreciate each and every one of you. It's an honor and privilege to spend each and every morning with you. Thanks to everybody who submitted questions or stories or comments this week for Ask or Tell Me Anything. Appreciate you as well. Let's begin with Bacon, who says, in 2016, better than Hillary and binary choices were punchlines. Why is this election different? We were we not in a precarious position 8 years ago? Not trying to be a jerk, just genuinely curious. I didn't think that was a jerkish question, Bacon, at all. No, that's a great question. And you're right, in 2016, at least from my point of view, and everything I'm about to say is Aaron McIntyre's point of view and mine alone, not speaking on behalf of or in lieu of anybody else. This is just my view. In 2016, it was plausible that binary choices and better than Hillary were not very good standards to hold. I often said back then, better than Hillary, well, toe jam is better than Hillary. That's not a standard. But that was before we saw the weaponization of the media. Before the media was just a tool, now it is a weapon. You look at the Brett Kavanaugh situation. That was one of the first forays. You look at the Russian collusion hoax. That was a weaponization of our government against another person. In this case, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, the icon for you and me, whether we want him to be or not. That was before we had things like COVID, where it was just an all-out weaponization of the system against American liberty and the Constitution. In other words, it was plausible to make the case that our standards should be in a different realm, or really categorically different than they are now. But now we are living in a really negative world, or put it in my own words, we are living in a zero-sum game. We don't have the luxury of having standards that are just better than Hillary. We don't have the luxury of demanding standards better than that. Do we still have the ability and I would say, mandate to demand some standards? Absolutely. I think a good picture of that is what we saw with Donald Trump on Amendment 4 in Florida. I'm just going to be honest with you, and I still reserve the right to if he steps in it on another issue involving life. If he came out in absolute support of Amendment 4 in Florida, that was going to be my tap-out moment with Donald Trump. I said I was going to vote for him after the attempted assassination. That was going to be my tap-out moment. That didn't happen, fortunately. It's okay to still have standards, especially on your closed-hand issues. But in terms of politicians and their platforms and their policy, in 2016, it was plausible to say we need to have higher standards than what they were giving to us then with Hillary and Donald Trump, especially when it came to Donald Trump. Now we're living in a zero-sum ballgame. I don't know how you could come to any other conclusion than that. So that's kind of where I come down on that question, Bacon. But that's a good question, and maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you don't think we're living in a zero-sum ballgame. Maybe you don't think we're in negative world, so to speak, and you come to a different conclusion. That's okay. S.A. Cupcake says, what radio station, app, or streaming music channel do you listen for worship music? My radio only gets K-Love. Well, it's because of that. When I'm ready to listen to, gospel-centered music, I just turn on the Gaither channel on Amazon Music. That's kind of my cup of tea these days. There's more, I would say there's more gospel in Gaither, in the Bill Gaither vocal band, than there is in a lot of K-Love and other music, Christian music radio stations. So that's kind of my speed these days. Country Squire has this important public service announcement. As the days get shorter, don't become vitamin D deficient. It's got the picture of the penguins from Madagascar sitting out in the sunlight getting a suntan. Thank you, Country Squire, for that PSA. That is a good reminder. Somewhere in Kentucky, thoughts on the I-75 shooter in Kentucky over the weekend. First, it was a traffic incident. Then it wasn't. State police, county, other county sheriffs, FBI, and ATF are all on scene, but he's still on the loose. In addition, Kentucky State Patrol has posted 2 terrain videos saying it's hard to search. Yeah, last I've heard about this guy is that he is still on the run, but because of that terrain, he's in the woods somewhere. Last I saw as well is that authorities are saying he still could be alive, but it's just such a difficult search at the moment. So definitely a disturbing story. Just somebody who decided That's the narrative, at least the story that we're being told, is he just woke up one morning last week, went and bought a gun, and decided to just start shooting at motorists on I-75 in Kentucky. There seems to be maybe more to this story, but I haven't commented on it because we don't really have a conclusion or motive or really anything on this story yet. Auburn Tiger 89 asks, are you a redder best fiction and non-fiction read lately? I think I answered your question. Shulva 81189 reminds us of this story this week. Missouri's Secretary of State Ashcroft originally certified the Legalize All Abortions Amendment, then decertified it this week, only for the 5 out of 7 made-up Supreme Court in Missouri to mandate he recertify the measure. So we're back to hoping a miracle number of voters vote no in November. So Amendment 3 in Missouri, if that passes, that would basically get rid of Missouri's near-total ban on baby killing. All it needs is a simple majority to pass. And then abortion, once again, baby killing would be the law of the Missouri land. So if you live in Missouri, vote no on Amendment 3. Uncomfortably Dumb is next. Your thoughts on the Joker sequel trailer? Looks like it's good, but man, I don't know if I can take much more nihilism right now. I'm with you. I have negative integers interest in the new Joker film. Absolutely no interest in the Joker film. I watched the last one. I just thought, again, I was analyzing it through just a filmmaking perspective, a story perspective a little bit, and I thought it was, in terms of that, it was quality, but in terms of what it's actually communicating, which was just straight up nihilism, I told my wife, don't watch that movie. It's good, but don't watch it. And the buddy that I went and watched it with, we kind of had the same thing. One of the best movies, kind of like, what is that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he gets mauled by a bear? Best movie that you never want to watch again. I mean, it's just, I don't know why you would. Oh, The Revenant. That was the name of the movie where Leo DiCaprio gets mauled by a bear. Yeah, I just don't know why you would want to expose yourself to that over and over again. And Uncomfortably Dumb, I am with you there. All right, short episode this week. Short episode indeed. We'll be back with No Suck Saturday tomorrow. We'll have 5 stories that objectively don't suck. Study through Gentle and Lowly from Dane Ortland and more. That is coming up tomorrow for Apple Podcast subscribers at the $5 a month level. No Suck Saturday coming up tomorrow with my beautiful wife, Bella. For the rest of you, we'll be back at it again on Monday. Thank you again for listening this week to the AM Update.